Welcome back, folks, to the Tucker and Crowley report. Franklin Tucker, editor of the Belmontonian, is with me again today, and I'm Mike Crowley. So let's talk about what's happening in the news, Franklin. First up, let's talk about the Board of Assessors.
That's right. We had a public forum concerning the special town meeting that's happening on Monday, and that is with changing the Board of Assessors from an elected board to an appointed board. And that is something that is coming, that we have, the special town meeting was specifically made. There is some concern that people are saying that this is now becoming a distraction, that this town meeting is becoming a distraction when we should be thinking about an override. What we're doing is we're debating whether the assessors should, what the structure of the assessors are going to be.
Well, so Franklin, at this point, what is the reason for the proposal to move to an appointed Board of Assessors? Does anybody question whether the assessors are doing their job?
When it comes to assessing property, they're saying they're doing a very good job. But what the proponents, being led by Elizabeth Dion. There's so many Elizabeths now. Elizabeth Dion is that there's two advantages of having an appointed board. Number one, there's efficiencies that you can get, and that is you don't have to wait for the Board of Assessors to make necessary changes to make them more efficient. The town then is pushes those forward. And she's also said is that by bringing them to within the by making them an appointed board, they're now part of the financial team in town. It will be something that you now have. You can coordinate their efforts, not just in assessing, but also giving information to the other financial part of the team in terms of zoning. What would zoning changes mean to the assessed values in town? So those are the two things that they're saying. Now, on the other side, and this was done by Elizabeth Allison, town meeting member and longtime financial member of numerous committees in town. She says, "Why fix what ain't broke?" And that's what a lot of people are saying. There might be some contentiousness among the Board of Assessors when they're dealing with other committees, and there is. I mean, let's not, let's just say what it is. But that shouldn't be the reason why you break up a good team, basically. And they also said that the assessors would then be beholden to the select board. That's more facetious, because there's a lot of boards that are appointed by either the town moderator or the select board, who are very independent.
All right, so Franklin, we'll have this full debate at town meeting on Monday, the special town meeting.
It's also virtual. It's a virtual.
It's a virtual, yeah.
So you're going to have to come to the Belmont Media Center to see what's going on.
Okay. All right, Franklin. So next up, let's talk about. We have a new school committee candidate. So at this point, I believe there are 3 announced candidates, and it will be a competitive race.
What we have now is that we have Mr. Abercrombie, the 19-year-old who is running, who has pocketed quite a bit of money. So he's going to be running with some backing behind, with some backing from people in town. We have Meg Moriarty, who is an incumbent, and she's the current head of the school committee, and has done a wonderful job over the 3 years she's been on the committee. And we have a new member. We have a new candidate. His name is Matt Kraft. He is a professor of education economics, and I believe he's one of the leading figures of that end of the economics, that end of economics. He's produced papers and lots of papers on the issue. He has it's going to be very interesting what this person who does a lot of big thinking, does papers and economics and a lot of academics, and how is he going to bring? What is he going to bring to a community such as Belmont?
Well, so I understand that he is a member of the community. He does have kids in the school system,
Mm-hmm.
so if nothing else, and I'm sure there is much background that he would bring potentially to the position. He's certainly a parent who cares about this.
That's right.
All right, so Franklin, let's talk about Mike Widmer, who has pulled papers to run for moderator one last time.
That's right. One last time. He's not only pulled papers, he's submitted papers. So he will be on the ballot, and he's confirmed that this is going to be his last term. So it'd be his 16th or 17th year as moderator. He's been a very influential person in Belmont politics and Belmont governance. He's the person who does selects the members of, let's say, the building committee,
the Warren Committee,
and the Warren Committee,
the building committees.
And he sets the tone for all town meetings, which is a very important thing. He basically says this is the path we're going to take at these town meetings. And that really shapes how those issues are talked about by the legislative body in Belmont. So he'll be missed. He's been a very good town moderator. Or some people think he's been some people think he's been a good. There's some people who felt his wrath at times.
All right, Franklin. So for those who are looking forward to the next Belmont Budget Summit, how much more waiting is there?
Looks like it's been there was it's the fourth Belmont Budget Summit, and it was coming forward on next week, but it's going to be delayed by 2 weeks. And the reason for that is not so much any new numbers or let's say the governor's budget affecting the town's budgetary process. It is simply there are delays that are happening on the school committee side. And that has to do with running the numbers and seeing what the consequences are of both an override passing and an override being defeated. It's just a lot of heavy work that they're doing, and they're just delayed by a little bit.
All right, Franklin, thank you. And that's all for this week. You can find more of Franklin's reporting at belmontonian.com. We'll see you next time.